Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 7, Text 12. ये चैव सात्विका भावा राजसास्तामसाश्च ये मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि। ये, all which, cha, and eva, certainly, sattvika, in goodness, bhava, states of being, rajasa, in the mode of passion, tamasa, in the mode of ignorance, cha, also, ye, all which, matta, from me, eva, certainly, iti, thus, tan, those, vidhi, try to know, na, not, tu, but, aham, I, teshu, in them, te, they, mai, in me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. Please repeat. Know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am in one sense everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. This is Kṛṣṇa is speaking this. As you can see, the M with my and me with the capital M, that refers to Kṛṣṇa. We are my and me with a small m, so there's a big difference. Purport. All material activities in the world are being conducted under the three modes of material nature. Although these material modes of nature are emanations from the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa, He is not subject to them. For instance, under the state laws one may be punished, but the king, the lawmaker, is not subject to that law. Similarly, all the modes of material nature, goodness, passion and ignorance, are emanations from the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa. But Kṛṣṇa is not subject to material nature. Therefore, He is nirguna, which means that these gunas or modes, although issuing from Him, do not affect Him. That is one of the special characteristics of Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We will also read the next verse. This is actually a very important verse, 7:13. Srila Prabhupada often quoted this. त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैरेभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्. We will actually repeat this because it's a very important verse. So please repeat. त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैरेभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्. त्रिभिर्, three, gunamayai, consisting of the gunas, bhavai, by the states of being, ebhi, all these, Sarvam, whole, idam, this, jagat, universe, mohitam, deluded, na abhijanati, does not know, mam, me, ebhya, above these, param, the supreme, avyayam, inexhaustible. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. Purport: the whole world is enchanted by the three modes of material nature. Those who are bewildered by these three modes cannot understand that transcendental to this material nature is the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa. Every living entity under the influence of material nature has a particular type of body and a particular type of psychological and biological activities accordingly. There are four classes of men functioning in the three material modes of nature. Those who are purely in the mode of goodness are called Brahmanas. Those who are purely in the mode of passion are called Kshatriyas. Those who are in the modes of both passion and ignorance are called Vaishyas. Those who are completely in ignorance are called Shudras. And those who are less than that are animals or animal life. However, these designations are not permanent. I may either be a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or whatever. In any case, this life is temporary. But although life is temporary and we do not know what we are going to be in the next life, by the spell of this illusory energy, we consider ourselves in terms of this bodily conception of life, and we thus think that we are American, Indian, Russian or Brahmana, Hindu, Muslim, etc. And if we become entangled with the modes of material nature, then we forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is behind all these modes. So Lord Kṛṣṇa says that living entities deluded by these three modes of nature do not understand that behind the material background is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many different kinds of living entities, human beings, demigods, animals, etc. And each and every one of them is under the influence of material nature, and all of them have forgotten the transcendent personality of Godhead. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, or even those who are in the mode of goodness, cannot go beyond the impersonal Brahman conception of the Absolute Truth. They are bewildered before the Supreme Lord in His personal feature, which possesses all beauty, opulence, knowledge, strength, fame and renunciation. When even those who are in goodness cannot understand, what hope is there for those in passion and ignorance? Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all these three modes of material nature, and those who are truly established in Krishna consciousness are actually liberated. Now there is a clear distinction here between the living entities that we are and the supreme living entity Krishna. We all are living. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman. There is an unlimited number of eternal living beings that are being maintained by one eternal living being. So what is the difference between these one and that infinite living entities? So that one is the supreme living entity, and we all are infinitesimal living entities, very, very minute. So there is a vast difference in capacity. Sometimes there are philosophies which say that we are as good as God. Aham Brahmasmi, they say. I am Brahma. Brahma means the spirit. I am spirit. In fact, they have concocted another meaning of this Aham Brahmasmi. Brahma means the creator, and Asmi means I am. or am actually. Asmi means am. Aham means I. I am the creator. Aham Brahmasmi. Nowadays they are doing this way also. So they say we are the creator of our own destiny, therefore Aham Brahmasmi. I am the creator. We are the engineer of our own destiny. This is basically a Western ideology. They think everything is centered around them, and their efforts, their inclinations, these things matter, and nothing else matters in the outcome of anything. So that is an atheistic viewpoint, atheistic worldview. But we understand that there are 5 causes for action. I think it's in the, is it 1714? No. 1830. Yeah, correct. 1830. Who was that who told that? You told? Very good. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, text 13. Panchaitani mahabaho karanani nibodhame sankhye kritante proktani siddhaye sarvakarmanam. Pancha etani mahabaho. See, O mighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me. 1814 is the one which enumerates them. Adhishthanam tatha karta karanam cha prathak vidham vividhascha prathak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. The place of action, which is the body, the performer, which is the soul. The body and the soul are separate. The various senses. How many senses do we have? You are not wrong, because one of the verses says that. The real answer is 10. So, again, the scientific description of senses are eyes, nose, tongue, skin, and ears, right? So Vedic description is better. So the 5 senses that are known to modern science, they are called Jnanendriya, or the knowledge acquiring senses. Why? Because with these senses we acquire knowledge. Like if I touch something to my tongue, then I will acquire the knowledge of that substance's taste. If I touch something, I will know whether it is soft or hard or hot or cold. This is touch, sensation of touch. And that is also acquiring knowledge of a particular object. And then there is eyes, the form of something can be known. That is also knowledge acquiring. And then the sound by the ears, and what is the smell by the nose. So these are knowledge acquiring senses. We acquire knowledge about our surroundings, or even sometimes far away, because hearing, we can hear something from very far. And television, we are seeing from very far. But you can't smell from very far. Like TV, you can hear and see, but you can't smell or taste something. So these are anyway knowledge acquiring senses. Now karmendriya, jnanendriya, karmendriya, 2 categories of senses. Knowledge acquiring senses, jnanendriya. Karmendriya is executive senses or working senses with which we work. So senses, the word sense is actually an interface between the world and us, the soul. How the soul perceives this world through the medium of the body. For example, I'll ask you a question. Do our eyes see? Do our eyes actually see? then what sees? Mind? The soul sees through the window of the eyes. The eyes are actually an instrument with which, this is called an interface. Interface means how you perceive this world, with what instrument. Because a dead body also has eyes, but it can't see. The eyes cannot see. The soul sees through the eyes. When the soul leaves the body, the same eyes are there, but they are no more instruments. They are just, flesh. That's it. Now we have so many body parts and they have names. Actually, when the body dies, it just decomposes into earth and elements without distinction. It's not that, this is the decomposition of the stomach. This is after everything is decomposed, everything is just decomposed. That's it. Right? But when they are in use, they have names. The clay, when we, the potter's wheel, when he does the pot, then it's called a pot. The same clay can be made to used to make a brick, and it's called a brick. Actually, it's clay underneath. The essential ingredient is clay, but depending on the shape and the purpose, it has different designations or names. So similarly, we have all these things, the senses, which interact with this world. So Jnanendriya help us to input knowledge of this world, whereas Karmendriya help us to output work into this world. So what are the Karmendriya? Hands, legs, speech. It's actually tongue only. For taste it is input, for speech it is output. But it's not called tongue, it's called speech. Then the genitals and the anus. With these 5 organs, we actually interact with this world. Why not say heart? Why not call that a sense? No, that is in the internal process of the working of the body, but it's not interacting with something outside. It is helping the body stay in order so that it can interact with outside. So now you understand what is sense is. So Vedic understanding is much more scientific than so-called modern science. So Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. So the place of action in the body, Kshetra, the performer, the soul, the various senses, 10 senses, and the controller of all of them, which is the mind. Then the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the super soul or Paramatma. These are the 5 factors of action. Of all of these, the Paramatma's sanction is the most important. You can have the body, you can have the soul, you can have the senses, you can have the endeavor, but if there is no sanction from the Supreme Lord, it will not happen. So, and if the sanction of the Supreme Lord is there, sometimes even without anything, things can take place. Ultimately is the will of the Lord. But do not be mistaken by throwing all the responsibility of everything that is happening to the Lord. That is also a misconception. What I mean to say is, yes, everything is happening by the will of the Lord, so whatever bad is happening, that is also by the will of the Lord. Answer is yes. Then why God is willing to do bad? God is not willing. Just like the judge, he's not a sadist that he wants to see someone 20 years in prison locked up. He's not a sadist. It's not that I don't like his face, go to 20 years inside prison until your face changes. No. Is because who is to be responsible? Although the judge gives out the sentence, the judge is not responsible for that fate of that prisoner. He himself was a criminal and he just awarded what he deserved. The judge may be a very nice man. He wouldn't want anybody to be locked up. But he still locks up people every day. He has a business. That's his job. He's paid to lock up people and punish them. But he is not a bad man. He is never treated as a criminal. Oh, this guy is every day locking up people. Criminal, hang him, lock him up. No, nobody locks him up. So similarly, the Lord is not responsible for our suffering. All that is happening negative in this world is because of our asking for it, just like the criminal asked for it, and then the justice was just meted out to him. That's all. So in that way, the Lord is, yes, it is the will of the Lord that we are suffering. It's like it's the will of the judge that the criminal has to suffer. But it's his own doing. So in this way, the Lord is always aloof, and He's not implicated in our suffering or enjoyment, for that matter. So anyway, these are the 5 factors of action. Now, people who do not know this, they think everything is happening just by chance. Ye chaiva sattvika bhava rajasas tamasas chaya. This is the other thing. 3 modes. 5 causes of action we have seen. Now there are 3 modes. And everything is to be classified in these 3 modes in this world. People have different movements, right? They say, oh, far right, far left, or left or right, or whatever. Liberalists, conservationists, conservatives. Then there are many movements in this world, according to their convictions. Some people are vegetarian, some people are, vegan, some people are animal rights activists, human rights activists. There are so many movements in this world. But these classifications are not proper classifications. There is actually a classification by the modes of material nature. This is the real way of classifying everything. Like, for example, food. The Western kind of movements are like, vegan, or, meat, or vegetarian, or sometimes they have keto, whatever, so many names nowadays, so many kinds of diets. But ours is different. Food is classified by Kṛṣṇa, by God, in 3 ways. Food in the mode of goodness, sattvic ahar, rajasic ahar, tamasic ahar. Food in the mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. So, ayur sattva balarogya sukha priti vivardhanah rasyaha snigdha sthira hridya ahara sattvika priyaha. So foods dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and give strength, health, happiness and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome and pleasing to the heart. Fatty means ghee. Talking about especially ghee, which is actually sattvic. Anyway, like that there are rajasic and tamasic food. Now, not only food, everything in this world is within these 3 modes. Whether it's a person's consciousness, psychophysical condition, because of which he is actually classified as either Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. And that is not for discrimination, that is for a very organized, for a very scientific organization of human society with a common aim to serve the Supreme Lord. The GDP, or the gross domestic product, is not the aim of civilization. A person nowadays is classified as first class or a third class fellow by money. Literally, when you go overseas on a plane and when you're checking in your bags, you have this first class lane, the business class lane and the economy class lane. They don't want to call it second and third class because that sounds bad. So a bit of euphemism. Let it call business class. Still sounds good. Economy class. You are economical, but actually you are a third class customer for us. You get nothing. Water also you have to pay. Basically. We will not serve you otherwise. So, these things are going on. First class, literally they write there first class. And the ticket is some $21,000. Whereas the economy class is like $400 or $500. If you have money, you are first class. Royal treatment. You have no money, you are a beggar, useless fellow. character is not the index anymore. Kali Yuga. So anyway, people are in these three modes. In Kali Yuga, because people don't know this classification, they only know classification by money. A person is called first class if he has money. A country is called first class if it has money. Nothing else matters. So these are the three modes. Now what Kṛṣṇa is saying, that ye chaiva sattvika bhava rajasas tamasascha ye matta eveti tan vidhi natvaham deshu te mayi. Know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. So all these gunas, these qualities, these modes, like worship is also in the three modes. Worshipping the devatas is in the sattvic, forefathers rajasic, and ghosts and spirits and hobgoblins in this tamasic, and transcendental to even sattvic is shuddha sattvic, and that is Vishnu worship. Sattvam vishuddham vasudeva shabditam. So these are the three modes, and transcendental, but even goodness is still in the material world. Still in the material world. Many times I have given this example, it's Prabhupada's example, that goodness, passion and ignorance. Why are we encouraged to come to the mode of goodness or sattvic? Why are we encouraged to become sattvic and not rajasic and tamasic? Because even sattvic is still in the material world. It is not spiritual yet. It is still material. Then why are we encouraged? Because that is a platform from which we can transcend to Shuddha Sattva. Prabhupada gave a very nice example of the airport. Now, if you are at Changi airport, you are still in Singapore. As much as we are all sitting in here, we are in Singapore. And whoever is now in Changi airport, he is also in Singapore. And whoever is in all the way the other side, Tuas or Jurong, he is also in Singapore. So what is the difference? I am still in Singapore, what is the need to go to Changi? No, from Changi then you can fly and go to another place. Your probability of going to another place is much higher when you are at Changi airport. So, similarly, when we are in the mode of goodness, there is a high probability that we will meet people in the mode of goodness. If I am in tamasic mode, if I always say drink and eat meat and womanize and gamble and this is my life, if this is my life, then I will meet similar people. I will never meet a sadhu in a casino. I don't expect to meet a sadhu. If he is there, I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's preaching. Maybe he's collecting donations for our temple building project. Maybe. But otherwise, you wouldn't expect to find a sadhu in any casino. First of all, when we go like this to a casino, what you are, get out. They see something wrong. You are coming here to beg or what? No. You cannot collect donations here. Even sometimes, it is not even to collect donations that we go to sometimes these business buildings, these office buildings. We have genuinely some work. Collecting donations also is our work, but sometimes it may not be that. But when we go to this building, the security guard actually stops us. Many times we have been stopped. I think Subal Prabhu may know. Have you experienced? Yeah. So when we go to the office buildings, they say, no donations, go. You cannot come here. So who told you I am collecting donations? Don't just simply have prejudice. Yeah? I am coming to meet this and such person. Just don't, raise your voice like that. So I just tell them off. So anyway, so you won't get that sangha of sadhu there. And if you don't get sangha of sadhu, then we are associating with tamasic and rajasic people, then we will just spiral down to the baser modes of material nature. But if you are in the sattvic gun, such a person who is sattvic, he may go to, instead of when he gets a holiday, instead of going to some gambling place or some exotic tourist location, he will go to Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, Rameshwaram, this Badrinath, Haridwar, Rishikesh. He will go to pilgrimage sites. So then what happens? he has a higher probability to meet a sadhu. Higher probability to meet a sadhu. Because by sadhu sangha, then we will hear the real aim of life. And then the ticket. Even if I go to Changi airport, I cannot just fly out of this country and then go somewhere. I have to have a ticket. I can go to Changi airport all I want, but if I don't have a ticket, I'm just going to remain in Changi airport and maybe escorted out. So, if I come to even mode of goodness, but if I don't associate with sadhus, I will be escorted to again Rajasic and Tamasic gun, mode of passion, good, ignorance. So, unless we meet sadhu, who is sadhu? That is another big confusion nowadays. Some Baba who has his hand like this, one mala like this, and this color cloth, must have a beard, then he is sadhu. No matter what nonsense he talks, nor what nonsense he does, Kali Yuga sadhus are like that. Just by external appearance. Yes, there is a dress code for sadhu, that's another thing. But many people are like Ravan. Ravan also dressed like a sadhu to kidnap Sita. She thought he was sadhu. But he turned out a rascal. So those kinds of nonsense sadhus are plenty in Kali Yuga. Now, you may say, they did not kidnap anybody. There are actually some of them who already went to jail by now. But there are others also who apparently not anything wrong with them. How are we judging something is not wrong with them? Because first of all, we do not know what is right or wrong. We do not know what is right or wrong. And then we are judging somebody else. Oh, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just talking very nicely. I feel very nice when I hear him. You can feel nice. That is not the criterion for that he is speaking correct, right? For a thief, if you give him a nice plan how to rob that bank, it will sound nice to him. Yes, this is workable. Let's do it. He feels motivated. Just because he motivated you does not mean that counselor is some sadhu. Counselor to help. So that kind of sadhu, that kind of nonsense counselor is not sadhu. So sadhu means a devotee of Kṛṣṇa. That's it. No. What about those meditators? No. Hey, what is this? Because you are Hare Krishna, you are saying only Kṛṣṇa devotee sadhu. What is this? This is too much. I will never come back to this temple anymore. People are there like that also. But we are not saying this out of fanaticism. We are saying this out of Shastric evidence. Kṛṣṇa says, who is Mahatma? Who is sadhu? Sadhu means this. Bahunam janmanamante jnanam anmam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa Mahatma sudurlabha. It's very rare to find such a Mahatma. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. Kṛṣṇa says me. Knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is, such a great soul is very rare. So he is a Mahatma, he is a sadhu. So there are other places also this is mentioned, but I don't want to go too much into that. So sadhu means a devotee of Kṛṣṇa. Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin daiva asura evacha Vishnu bhakta smrito daiva asurastad viparyayaha. Padma Purana. Two kinds of living entities in this world. Dvau bhuta sargau. Sargau means categories. Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin. Loka asmin, in this world. Daiva asura. Godly and demoniac. Two types of living entities. Now, what is the definition of godly? Vishnu bhakta smrito daiva. Vishnu bhakta only. What about Shiva bhakta? What about Ganesh bhakta? What about Skanda bhakta? No. Actually, technically, they are not called bhakta. Bhakti is only with the Lord, Supreme Lord, Vishnu. Others are worshippers, but they are not devotees. They go generally by the name of devotees, but actually they have, what is this called? Chapter 7, text 20. Next verse. Let's go there. Who are not Mahatma, कामैस्तैस्तैर्हृतज्ञाना प्रपद्यन्ते अन्य देवता तं तं नियममास्थाय प्रकृत्या नियताः स्वयं. कामैः, word you see कामैः. Kamai means desires. They have desires in this material world. To fulfill those desires, they worship demigods. So that is not bhakti. Bhakti means devotion. When you are devoted to someone, that is called bhakti. Here, such worshippers are not devoted to such personality or demigod or devata. No, they are devoted to their sense gratification, kama. To get that kama, if this devata can give me, I will worship him. If my boss can give me, I will worship him. If this government officer can give me, I will worship him. I will bribe him. Whoever can give me, I will flatter them. But I am a bhakta of my kama. I am actually serving my lust. If somebody can help me, I will worship him, of course. So kamaisthairsthay hritajnana prapadyan. That's why they are called actually not devotees. Devotee is a person who is devoted. Employee is a person who is employed. Devotee is a person who is devoted to Krishna. To anyone. But Krishna is only where we can be nishkama. Whereas with any other devata, it is kama, sakama. You may ask, what about those who worship the devatas without any desire? It cannot be. A person who has no desire, only a devotee can be a person with no desire. Only a devotee of Krishna. A pure devotee, that too. Even Krishna's devotees have desire when they are not pure. Krishna says, just few verses before this, Mahatma is a person who has surrendered to me. But people may come to me not with surrender, but just out of for fulfilling their own desires. And there are 4 such kinds of people. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna arto jignasur artharthi jnani cha bharatarshabha. Chapter 7, text 16. O best among the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious men will begin to render devotional service unto me. He called them pious, not surrendered souls, not pure devotees, not nishkama yet. They have kama, they have desire. What are those desires? The distressed. So he wants relief from his distress. That is also a desire. To want relief from one's distress is a desire. Whereas a nishkama devotee of Krishna, he doesn't mind getting into all kinds of trouble if Krishna wants that. Radharani says, if Krishna wants to see me unhappy, if Krishna gets immense pleasure by seeing me unhappy, that unhappiness is my greatest happiness because Krishna is happy. I want to have that unhappiness. If that is what Krishna wants. That's all. There is no consideration, hey, how can Krishna do this to me? No. That is devotion. And it can only happen with Krishna. Because our real actual position is to be a servant of Krishna. We are not a servant of anybody else actually. Now, the distressed, the desirer of wealth, he wants money, he may also come. The inquisitive, he wants to know more. What is this God? What is life? Who am I? Inquisitive. That is also desire. But it's a much better desire than what to eat next. Which restaurant to eat. That is also an inquisitive nature. In Google, what is Google? Why is the biggest site in the world? You ask questions, you will get answers. Everything is jignasa. But Vedanta Sutra says, Athato Brahma Jignasa. Athato Brahma Jignasa. In human life, we have to be questioning, but not question anything else, but Brahma Jignasa, spiritual questioning. Who am I? Who is God? This is the subject matter of questioning. So, that is a good desire to have. And then he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute, he is wise. That means he at least has, actually Jnani. Jnani means at least he has achieved the Brahman realization, which is the beginning of spiritual realization. So even such a person is still of desire because he wants to be liberated. If you want to get moksha, that is also desire. That is still not Nishkama. I want to get moksha. That you want. So when I say I want, that means it's a desire. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. I don't want wealth, fame and beautiful women. No. And so what do you want? You want moksha? No. Mama janmani ishvare bhavatad bhaktir ahaituki tvayi. I don't consider myself worthy of moksha. Taking into account all the sins I have committed for millions and trillions of lifetimes, I don't consider myself worthy of moksha. So I have no right to demand this of you, Kṛṣṇa. And honestly, I do not want it. I just want to be your servant. Janmani ishvare. Life after life after life. If you want to keep me in this material world rotting, I don't mind. Because I have done so much nonsense. I should be deserving a lot of punishment. But just give me one thing. That even if I am in hell, please give me the association of your sadhu, of your devotees, so that I can serve them. I can become their servant. Please give me your bhakti wherever I am. So this is devotee, nishkam. Not even a tinge of desire, not even of moksha. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. He has given up all desires of everything. Only Krishna bhakta, that's it. That is nishkam. So, kama istaiste hrita jnana. Even the demigods, they are in the mode of goodness. They are sattvic. They are also still having desires. Not to speak of rajasic and tamasic. So in these modes when we are, if you go back to, so be they, know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion and ignorance, are manifested by my energy. Now, this is the difference. We are under the modes. We are under the influence of these modes. We are not only sattvic or only rajasic or only tamasic. We are in the mixture of these things, permutations and combinations of these things. 70% sattvic, 20% rajasic, 10% tamasic, or the other way around, whichever. There are millions of combinations like that. And that's why there are 8.4 million species of life. 8.4 million species of life because of this mix and match of these three guna. So we are under the influence, but Kṛṣṇa is saying, are manifested by my energy. Kṛṣṇa is not under these gunas. When he comes into this world, he is not a sattvic person. No, he is beyond. I am in one sense everything, but I am independent. He is everything. That does not mean everything is him. He is everything, but everything is not him. Prabhupada said, the Ford car company. The car is Ford, but Ford is not car. The Henry Ford, who started the company, he is not a car, but the car is Ford. Similarly, everything, you see, Kṛṣṇa is saying, I am in one sense everything, but I am independent. This also is reiterated in the 9th chapter. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakthamurtina matsthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavasthitah. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Next verse also. Nacha matsthani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram bhutabhrinna cha bhutastho mamatma bhutabhavanaham. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. So he is everywhere, but still he is not a part of this cosmic manifestation. How? It's very difficult for us to understand. Like when Mother Yashoda saw into the mouth of Kṛṣṇa. This happened on earth. But then when she looked into the mouth, there was the entire universe, millions of universes, And in that millions of universes, this one universe she saw, and in that one universe there are millions of planets, then this one planet she saw, and in the one planet she saw herself looking into Krishna's mouth, inside Krishna's mouth. This is, what is this? Nowadays they call this meta. Meta, inside the same thing, inside. It's like, how is this even possible? How can you look into into somebody's mouth and see the whole creation inside that mouth, and inside that mouth see yourself there looking into Krishna's mouth? I mean, how? So this is achintya. Achintya means chintana. Chintan means to think. Chintya means that which can be thought. That which can fit in our mind. Achintya means you cannot think about it. We cannot capture it within our thought. We cannot. That is the definition of God. God should be achintya. If we can conceive God, if we can wrap our head around God, that is not God. We cannot wrap around Him. We cannot capture Him. We can capture Him by love. Like Mother Yashoda, she tied Him up. With love only. With devotion. Not anything else. She did not tie Him with a rope. So, I am not part of this cosmic manifestation. So this is Krishna's unique position. We cannot say the same for ourselves. We cannot say that, oh, I am in this universe, but I am also outside of this universe. Please. Then you will be inside the mental hospital and not outside. So Krishna is further clarifying in the 13th verse. Tribhir gunamayair bhavair ebhi sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mamebhyah paramabhyayam. Very stark contrast of His and our existence is explained here. So this Tribhir gunamayair, these three modes are, due to the influence of these three modes, we are acting in different ways. It's like a puppet. We are like a puppet under the three modes. There's a picture also like that. Like the three modes are like, moving the puppet, the people of this world. Some man, with his hands, legs are all moving because of these three modes. So actually that's how we are. Then you can immediately say, oh, that's nice. Okay, so if anything happens, three modes should be blamed, not me. I am only a puppet. But no, again I am to be blamed. Why? Because I allowed myself to be tied to that three modes. Like because there is a description like that. The hands, for example, the controller of the hands is Indra. And similarly, every part of our body is controlled by some devata. So one thief, he stole something and said, no, I am not to be punished because Indra is the controller of my hands. He was trying to say like that. So this is faulty thing, faulty conclusion. So when we beat your hands, we are beating Indra, no, we are not beating. Why you are crying. So this is faulty logic. So the thing is, they are controller, just like judge is controlling our fate for the next maybe 10, 20 or life sentence, maybe whole life, or hanged, death also. Anything can happen. So our fate is being controlled in the hands of that judge who is sitting there with a hammer, hammering our life. So, but is he doing that out of his sadist nature? No. He is only responding to what we have done. So similarly, so based on our thoughts, sangat sanjayate kama, and according to the kama we do our action, and according to our action we are rewarded. So these are the flow of events. Now when we are under the three modes, ebi sarvam idam jagat. You see, the thing is, who is under these three modes? Under the influence of these three modes, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. The whole world is not known. Ebi sarvam idam jagat. Yes. Including all the demigods, all the devatas, they are also within these three modes. Nobody is above. Natadasya prithivyam va divideveshu va punah Sattvam prakriti jair muktam yadebhi syat tribhir gunai. 1840 of Bhagavad Gita. There is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems, which is Svargaloka, which is freed from these three modes of born of material nature. No one. Even the devatas themselves are under these three modes. So what to speak of if we are worshipping such people who are within these three modes? How can we go above this? How can we get moksha? That's why Lord Shiva said, Mukti Pradata Sarvesham Vishnu Revana Samshaya. If you want mukti, you have to go to Vishnu. We all cannot help you. He is the leader of the devatas. Lord Shiva himself. But he said, if you want mukti, I cannot give you. I can give you everything else. What is the use of everything else? Everything will be taken away. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavati alpamedhasam. Kṛṣṇa is using very strong word. Kṛṣṇa is saying alpamedhasam. Devan devayajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. See, antavattu phalam tesham. Antavat. Anta means what? Ant, end. Antavat, to phalam. Whatever phala we get from this devata worship is antavat, will end in course of time. Because the demigods themselves will end. You know, Hiranyakashipu, he did big tapasya to satisfy Brahma. And when Brahma actually came, he said, I want immortality. Brahma said, I myself am not immortal. Huh? I thought you are immortal. No, I have a very long life, but I am not immortal. Compared to eternity, my life is like a flash in time. 311 trillion, 40 billion earth years is his lifespan. It's a flash in time compared to eternity. So what can I give you immortality? You ask anything else, but that is beyond my power. Oh, okay. Then he roundabout way he asked. Hiranyakashipu, Brahma said, yes, okay, that is fine. Then Narasimhadev came and killed him, keeping all those promises intact. So anyway, that's the story. I don't want to go into the details of that. I think many of you already know. The point is, antavattu phalam tesham. Everything will be finished by the devatas, whatever we get. It's not worth it. Tribhir gunamayar bhavayar. They are themselves tribhir gunamayar bhavayar. How they can get us out of this? Kṛṣṇa says to Arjuna, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhava Arjuna. Go above the three modes. Don't stay within the three modes. Even the Vedas have rituals all within the three modes. A person in the mode of ignorance has rituals which will slowly elevate him to Rajasic or passion. Those who are in the mode of passion, they have a set of rituals which will gradually get them to the mode of goodness, Sattvic. And those in the mode of goodness are encouraged to then go above even goodness, which is Shuddha Sattva. That's why there are different types of rituals. Not that, oh, my Kuladevata is this, so I will do this. That is my tradition. It's not about tradition. Why are you doing it? Not simply, since my great-grandfather did, my great-great-great-great-grandfather did, I will also do. I will follow this great tradition. No. The reason is, for example, in some ritual, you are allowed to eat meat. For those who cannot control their tongue and want to eat meat, instead of eating every single meal and go to hell and suffer like a dog there, worse than a dog, limit to once a month on Amavasya day, and that too you have to offer it to Kali. And then that's what this temple, which is for meat, this will be always in the outskirts of the city. It is not actually in the presence of the city also. In the forest area. There this one. And there one is allowed to kill the only goat. That too by the jhatka method. It means in one stroke. Not like this halal method, where they slit open the throat and let the animal suffer for very long. No, not allowed. That is haram. For in the Vedic, that is haram. So anyway, for Vaishnava everything is haram. Everything else is other than prasadam is haram. So this jhatka method we can eat, and then before you kill, you have to say, Mamsaha khadati iti mamsaha. Mam saha khadati iti mamsaha. I have to define the word mamsa, which is meat. Mamsa means meat. Why it is called mamsa? So mam means me, saha means he, referring to the animal. Mam saha khadati. Khana means right? Khadati, same, Sanskrit. So that he is allowed to eat me. That is the contract I am signing by killing this. I am now killing him, so he has the right to kill me in his next life. Then I can eat. Now, if I really understand the meaning of this ritual, will I simply say that this is my Kula Devata, this is my Kula ritual, what? Will I continue like that? If I have any brains, I will understand that, hey, what am I doing? I am allowing him to kill me. What kind of contract is this? No, I don't want. If I am intelligent. Like in the smoking, the cigarette. Smoking is injurious to health. But this rascal will open that box where that picture is there and then he will drink, smoke. Sorry if anybody here is a smoker, but please stop it. If anybody is. So, whether you are or not, so smoker is a rascal. Because he is spoiling his own life. And Prabhupada made a comment in America. There was this big billboards. Be cool. They was advertising some cigarette. Be cool, is a funda, he was just like, style some hairstyle and then he was like posing and then, like that and then be cool. Prabhupada saying, what is this foolish rascal? He is putting smoke inside his body and be cool. What is this? Doesn't even make logical and common sense. No common sense. He is putting smoke, fire into his body and he says, be cool. And people are falling for this trick. Yes, I want to be cool. Hurry, you are getting hot. Your lungs are getting tarred. Full tar is going on. What are you doing? So, that is his material world. Maya is such that she will present you distress, present you pain, packaged as happiness. That is Maya. If it will show you this is pain, take pain. Nobody will take pain. Take here candy. I will take. But inside is what? Diabetes I will get, everything I will get. So Maya is very clever. Package some rubbish as something very valuable and we will accept. She is a very good marketer. If you want to learn marketing, learn from Maya. She is expert marketer. To convince about some product, she will not immediately do, She is very, even if I am devotee, she will not immediately convince me about, enjoy, come, this cinema is there. Or something, No, it is not immediately. There was once there was some devotee told this story. I mean, it's an analogy, maybe it's a made-up story, maybe. But one so-called bhakta comes to this devotee and says, Prabhuji, yesterday I was chanting, I felt very nice. I really felt this is Kṛṣṇa. And devotee says, very good, that's good. And I was thinking why I was feeling like this. Why I was feeling like that, so good. Because I understood that, the day before I went for this Sankirtan. Everybody, devotees were going, singing on the street, so I also went. So I think that I was purified or what, I'm feeling very good while chanting. Okay. Then, I was thinking like that, and the Sankirtan, then I remembered, all the nice Kirtan movements in that Sankirtan, dancing and everything. I also remember all, some of the people that I saw there. Then I thought, my thought went, towards some Matajis, how they were dressing, and some of them on the street, they were not properly dressed. So mine went this way, and then I was thinking of the girl. Where it started, where it ended. It started off with something like, Kṛṣṇa, Harinam, and where it went? Somewhere. Calm. Complete calm. It's like, so she will not immediately show you that last thing. This, then slowly this, little bit this, little bit. And then before you know, you're there. 180 degrees turn. So she is very, very expert. She is expert marketer. How to change your opinion, how to change your thinking. He is not immediately will show you. Slowly, slowly, slowly. So, that is the action of this Tribhir Gunamaya Bhava. So, if we pray for, to the demigods to give me something in this material world, that is, such person is called therefore Alpamedhasa. He is not very intelligent. So here Kṛṣṇa is point blank saying that if anybody worships any devatas, he is not intelligent. Whether we like it or not. Now, hey, say, this is too much. Hey, come on. You may say. But this is fact. The thing how I should take this is, I should be humble enough to acknowledge, okay, I did not know this. I have never read the Bhagavad Gita. I have been worshipping demigods. So now I am seeing this. Oh really? Why is he saying like that? So let me read. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, then we will understand, oh, this is the reason why. Because antavattu phalam tesham. Everything will end. Why we should invest in something which we are going to lose? If I tell you, you invest in my company, he is searching for investments. Now if he going to pitch to some investor and say, sir, you invest in my company, $100,000. After 3 years, I will make sure, I will guarantee that you will return nothing. You will lose all your investment. Nobody is going to invest. Nobody. But as much as we are laughing about that, we are investing. We are investing in our life. I want big bungalow. I want a car. I want, some empire here in this world. I want all these things. I am investing so much time. I am investing so much money. Investing so much my life. I am working hard day and night to build my empire. Only to realize that the tide of time will come and just like a sandcastle is just, rendered shapeless in a high tide, our dreams will be gone in one high tide. Time and tide wait for no man, they say. They wait for no man. Finish. So we are guaranteed going to lose. One day death will come. Mrityu sarvaharascha aham. Sarvahara. Mrityu sarvahara. It is not alpahara. Sarvahara. Hara means what? Take away. Everything will be taken away from us at the time of death. So we are going to lose for sure. Then why are we investing? We are that foolish, rascal, stupid investor who is investing in something which we are ultimately going to definitely lose. There is no probability, maybe I will win, maybe I will lose. No, 100% we are going to lose. It's already known. Nobody ever won anything here. Everybody lost everything here. Still we are brainlessly investing in this life. So, and if we waste our time flattering the devatas to give me this, give me that, we are called Alpamedha. Of course we are called Alpamedha. Kṛṣṇa is actually so kind, he is only called Alpamedhasa. He said, that such persons have little brain. At least he said you have little brain. He did not say you have no brain. He is actually kind by saying Alpamedhasa. So, you may say, hey, how can you say Alpamedhasa? At least be grateful. He did not call you no brains. Just he told you you have little brains. Little. I'm not saying you, but anybody who is Devata worshipping Devatas. It's not just because, we are Kṛṣṇa, that's why we are hating the Devatas. We don't hate the Devatas. No, that is another misconception. The Vaishnavas, they actually respect the Devatas way more than the so-called worshippers of the Devatas. Because they know that these Devatas are great servants of Vishnu. And a devotee will of course respect another devotee. But to flatter them to get material benefits, that is foolishness. But the Devatas themselves, they are great devotees of Vishnu. So, as a respect to a devotee, Vaishnava always respects Devatas. In fact, he never insults even an ant. Not to speak of anybody else. That is Vaishnava. So, everything has to be seen objectively. And accordingly we have to, conduct ourselves. So, when Kṛṣṇa says here, you see, in today's verse. Mohitam nabhijanati. When we are under these three modes, we cannot understand the nature of the Lord. And although we don't understand, we try to calculate or estimate him according to our understanding. Like if Krishna is dancing with so many gopis, hey, what is this? He can dance with girlfriend, I cannot, what is this? So we calculate, we immediately, as if then he lifted the Govardhan hill, why don't you? First of all, you qualify first before you can dance with the girls. Cannot lift even one, then big, bodybuilder, the biggest, they lifted one, he lifted what? 500 kilos, 501 kilos, half a ton. And he was jacked, he was completely muscle, full muscle. And he was giant, he is like almost 6'8" or 6'9", his height. And he was full built, and he lifted this thing, this what is this called?
Deadlift.
Deadlift. He lifted it until here, and then put it down, finish. And he got a backache and everything, he was injury. Kṛṣṇa, 7-year-old boy he knows how to tease, he is expert at. He lifted, he did not lift like this. Govardhan hill, no. He did not lift like this also, no. He did not lift like this also. Left hand means, usually right hand, you have any etiquette, you have to give with right hand, right? To give anybody. You have to give with right hand. Left hand means not proper etiquette. So he wanted to insult Indra, because Indra was acting too much. So he purposefully left hand. And that too not this finger, full hand, no, little finger. You are nothing to me. And while he was lifting, he was doing sports with the gopis. He was, as a Hindi they say, line mara. Kṛṣṇa was line mara with the gopis. He is nothing, he is not even bothered. Balance. Actually, no, nothing. He is like playing around with people there. That is Kṛṣṇa. So he knows how to, if we really want to challenge him, he knows how to insult us very bad. We look like absolute fools. Like Indra, with what face he will come in front of Kṛṣṇa? After losing like that. So mohitam nabhijanati. Even the devatas, not to speak of Indra, Brahma also could not understand, because he was also within the modes. Brahma also could not understand who Kṛṣṇa was. He also tried to challenge. So we also have this tendency of challenging Kṛṣṇa. Oh, he danced, why I cannot dance? So Prabhupada said, yes, you lift first. Gopi Jana Vallabha, but he was Girivardhari also. Not only Gopi Jana Vallabha. Why only I selectively choose, Gopi Jana Vallabha is nice. Girivardhari, Why? Why selectively? So I have to do everything. God means he can do everything. And his dancing with the gopis is not like my lust. Kṛṣṇa doesn't need any of those gopis also, honestly. He doesn't need anybody. He's, what is that called? Atma Rama. He is self-satisfied. Nothing. He needs nothing. But he reciprocates. It resembles Kama of this world, but it is nothing like it at all. It only resembles. Gold and iron, you can say both are metals, no? Metal, what is that? Then why the price is different? Then you wear iron necklace, no? Who will wear iron necklace for marriage or what? You wear next time go marriage function with iron necklace. Metal, no? Metal. So like that, love of Kṛṣṇa, love of God and lust are like as far apart as gold and iron. So we should not immediately like jump. Like when we look at the moon through the branches of a tree, it appears so that the moon is sitting on the branch of the tree. It appears only. Similarly, it appears that Kṛṣṇa is, like ordinarily dancing with girls. No. The moon is far away from the tree. It only from our perception it looks as if they are in proximity. They are not. So we should not immediately kind of jump to conclusions like that. We should understand. That's why this Rasa Leela of Kṛṣṇa is only described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and the first 9 cantos are teaching us how great actually Kṛṣṇa is. And then we can only begin to enter the understanding of Rasa Leela, on what platform even Rasa Leela is. It is actually pure love. There was zero lust there. So anyway, mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramavyayam. So how to come out of this gunamaya, tribhir gunamaya? When we surrender to the Supreme Lord. So just before we leave, Harirhi nirguna sakshat purusha prakriteh paraha sasarvadrik upadrashta tam bhajan nirguno bhavet. Lord Hari, however, has no connection with the material modes of nature. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the all-seeing eternal witness, who is transcendental to the material nature. One who worships him becomes similarly free from the material modes. So he is called Nirguna. Nirguna means he has none of these Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. No, none of these. He is beyond these three guna. But impersonalists, they say Nirguna means, he doesn't have any guna, any qualities. Guna means also qualities. He has no qualities. He is not a person. He is Nirguna, Nirakar. Nirakar means, Akar means form. Nirakar means no form. He has no form of this material world, but he has a spiritual form, which is unlike any form in this material world, and that's why it is called Nirakar. It is unlike any Akar of this material world. That's the meaning. And Nirgun means he has none of the guna of the material world, but he has transcendental guna. In fact, everything is an emanation. What is that? Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Everything is an emanation from him. This material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. So anything that has form here, it has only form because it's a reflection of the real form in the spiritual world. Like a mango tree on the bank of a river or a lake. You will see the reflection of that mango tree upside down in the water, on the surface of the water. Now it looks like, hey, there's a mango there in the water. But actually that's not a real mango. If it has any form, it is only because of the real mango's form that is on the real tree. So in this material world, everything is an illusion, a reflection of the real spiritual nature. That's why here, like if I see, hey, that tree is very high, I cannot climb that tree and find those mangoes, I'll just jump into this water and get these mangoes. Here. I jump into the water, there's no mango there. It's an illusion of a mango, but there's no mango there. It's only a reflection. So similarly, we are searching after happiness. Instead of finding happiness with Kṛṣṇa, the real spiritual happiness, we are jumping into this ocean of material existence, looking for happiness here. And as we go inside, we find actually there's nothing there, only suffering. Suffocation, in fact. When we go into the water, what will happen? We'll suffocate to death there. We can't even breathe. So that is what is happening in this material world. We have come here looking for happiness. Anandamaya abhyasat. But we are looking for it in the wrong place. We are looking for it in the reflection. So when we say Nirakar, actually the thing that has no akar, no substantiality is this material world. But we think this has form and that has no form. Kṛṣṇa has no form. Or in the spiritual world there is no form. So this is a misconception. When Kṛṣṇa is addressed as Nirgun Nirakar, it is that he is not under the influence of any of the three gunas. He is above them and he has no akar of this material world. He has a Satchidananda Vigraha. Satchid Ananda Vigraha. Sat means eternal, Chit means full of knowledge, Ananda means full of bliss. Whereas our body, our akara, our Vigraha is exactly opposite. Asat, it is not eternal, it is not true. It's true for temporarily. Sat means actually eternal. Usually Satya means, Sat means, truth. But truth means it should be always truth. If at some point it is false, then that is not really truth. So that's why it is not Sat here. Our body is not Sat. It is not always, like if my name is such and such, it is not my name is all the way like that. After this life, in my next life, my name will be something else. So that is not truth. It's a temporary thing. It's a fickle thing. So, it is Asat, our body is Asat. Achit, full of ignorance. We don't even know our body. One has to do MBBS to find out a little bit about body. That too is not expert yet. 5-6 years you have to spend time to understand a little bit about our body. That is one level of ignorance because of the body, that we don't even understand our body. But the other ignorance is even worse. Because of the body, we don't even know who we are. We don't even know who we are. That is the most serious ignorance. We think we are the body. So this is Achit, no knowledge, and Nirananda. This body is a temple of diseases, temple of pain. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. So this is all painful existence. Nirananda. So Achit, Asat, Nirananda. Whereas Krishna's form is Sat Chit Ananda, spiritual form. So that is his real form. So if we become above the modes, we also can get similar form and associate with him in the spiritual world, and that is the aim of life. That is the aim of this Bhagavad Gita. He wants us to come back to him, reinstate ourselves in the original position as a servant of Krishna there. We have come far away from that, trying to be happy here. It will not be possible. So that is the thing he is saying here. In fact, next verse he will say, Devi Hiesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vya Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Only one who surrenders to me, he can cross this Maya. Others cannot. So we have to surrender to Krishna. And how that surrender happens? Yeah, I surrender. Huh? Not so simple. Surrender means, कर्म करो, फल की इच्छा ना करो, बस हो गया surrender. Not so simple here. You know. First of all, surrender means what? When somebody, like for example, when in a war, when there is a prisoner of war, he has to surrender, right? When the opposition camp, they capture him, he has to surrender. Surrender means what? He has to do whatever the army says he has to do. That's it. He cannot say otherwise. He cannot do otherwise. That is surrender. But of course, that is out of fear, that is out of compulsion. But here, surrender out of love for our own good. Surrender means Karishye Vachanam Tava. Arjuna says, I will do whatever you say, Krishna. That's it. I will do whatever you say. Not that I will do whatever I want. And now I surrender to Krishna. Krishna, whether you want to give me result or not, up to you. That's not surrender. Surrender means there is no arambha from me. There is no initiative from me. It is your order. I will just execute your order. I will not make my own plan. That is surrender. Karishya Vachanam Tava. Arjuna in the beginning was having his own plans. No, I will not fight this war. I don't think it is moral to fight this war. So he is having his own plans. But Krishna said, no. What are you speaking about moral and immoral? Your whole consideration is on the basis of body, which is all wrong platform. So your whole consideration is wrong. So when he explained to him about the soul, about the whole thing, the Bhagavad Gita, who is the soul and what is the soul and who is God and how everything is, what is our real aim of life, what we should do, what we should not do. Then he understood, oh yes, actually it is correct to fight this war. Then he said, Karishya Vachanam Tava. I will do whatever you say. That is surrender. So to come to that, we are not on the stage right now. Yes, Prabhu, okay, I will surrender. It's not so easy. It will take time. So it all starts from just using our tongue. Take baby steps towards surrender. What is that? Just start chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If we chant this mantra, we will go above these three modes. Don't think, what is this? You have spoken such big things and saying that simple thing can, just by chanting I can go above all this. How can it be so simple? It is simple. Because this is Krishna himself. This Mahamantra is Krishna himself. And when we take shelter of Krishna, we can. And actually those who chant and chant properly, they will understand that this is actually a fact. How much chanting has helped them. And that is not yet perfect chanting. Still with so many offenses, even then it is already so helpful. What to speak of if we perfect our chanting? And if we are in the association of devotees, sadhu sangha, then we will be more and more inspired to chant, more and more inspired to do service to Krishna, engage our life breath, everything in the service of Krishna. The more we do that, the more we benefit. It's for our own good. So I'll just stop here. Anybody has any questions or comments on this topic? Huh? think there's no question on the live stream. So alright, if there's no question, we'll stop here. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Go Prema.